With a conversation with Nate Puppets and a very special announcement from Jay Johnson, it's Monday, June 23rd, and this is Ventriloquism Weekly. Hey everyone, Matt Bailey here. Today is packed with awesome. First up, we have an interview with Nate Puppets. Then we have all the details about Jay Johnson's DVD release of The Two and Only, which is official now, and he's found a distributor, and it's going to be awesome. We'll have all the details about that. But first up, our interview with Nate Puppets, a Columbus, Ohio busking ventriloquist who also had the good fortune of puppeteering Baby Bear in the 2012 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on the Sesame Street float. Here now to share his special brand of creativity with us, our interview with Nate Puppets. Nate Puppets, welcome to Ventriloquism Weekly. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Well, let's get started. I'm very excited about this. I want to begin at the beginning. How did you get started in ventriloquism?
When I was about 7 years old, I was watching the Emmys, and I saw Mallory Lewis accept the Emmy for her mother, who recently passed away. And I remember seeing her with Lamb Chop, and I didn't know Lamb Chop, was just not a separate puppet, and I got kind of scared. And my brother was like, no, it's ventriloquism. And I'm like, oh, that's a thing. And we all tried it. I couldn't do it. Everyone else could. And then I also, so around that time, I saw Jeff Dunham for the first time. I was about
Cool.
7, and he was on a show called Premium Blend.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really excited about that. And then when I was 11, I read Night of the Living Dummy and decided I want to get a ventriloquist dummy.
Oh, that's cool. That's a little backwards. That usually scares people off.
Oh, I know. It's a really strange label. What can I say,
Yeah. Yeah. So, when did you begin performing and doing shows?
When I was about 11, actually, same year, I have a hip problem. My head still out of place, and I kind of tricked my mom. I was like, "Hey, now I'm sick. You need to give me a ventriloquist dummy." So
Oh, good old
I
guilt trip.
started fooling around. Yeah, got one guilt trip. Yeah, exactly. And decided to start then. And I didn't start performing till I was maybe 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
So I did talent shows and did little things, what have you, and just been going ever since.
So where has it taken you? I get to witness. We're friends on Facebook, and I get to witness all of the trials and tribulations and successes of your character creation. So you've kind of really dedicated yourself to doing this. So where has it taken you?
Just all over the city of Cleveland. It's where I'm from. And I'm a street performer, and that's my main thing I do, honestly. And I guess biggest thing I've done in Cleveland is a comedy club called Hilarities, and then biggest thing I've done altogether is the 2012 Sesame Street float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. How did you get the gig? How did they find Nate Puppets to do the Macy's Day Parade? That's so cool.
I met Kevin Clash when I was maybe 18 years old. Well, not maybe, I was 18 years old, and he, basically found me. I brought a puppet that I made to him, and next thing I know, I was going to the National Puppetry Conference in Connecticut, and the next year I talked to a friend of mine who works in Sesame Street, Tyler Bunch, and I said, how do I get on the float? And he said, oh, you have to talk to Kevin about that. And I said, well, I don't talk to him really, because he's, a huge star. And he's like, well, I'll talk to him for you. And lo and behold, he talked to him, and I got on the float.
That, that is really, really cool. And did they have you back this year?
No, it was a one-time thing, but it was still just an amazing experience. Just working with everyone that you've been watching since you were a little kid, and
Yeah.
meeting all sorts of people, and.
Did Carol Spinney do the float, or is that usually reserved for Matt?
It wasn't Carol or Matt this year. It was Peter Linz of Muppets fame, of Walter, was puppeteering Big Bird this year. So that was not this year, this past. So when I did it,
Right.
that's who puppeteered. So
Now, what were
and that
some
was
of
that
the
was really cool meeting him.
what was the best thing you learned out of that experience? What did you get? What did you get from that? What were you able to take with that once in a lifetime experience?
It was just great camaraderie of all the performers. Everyone was really looking out for me, being a young performer, what have you, and I was really just excited but nerve wracked at the same time. And my friend Marty Robinson really helped me get through that. He's a tough on you, but it's kind of a tough love thing.
Uh huh.
And I performed Baby Bear, and he called David Rudman, and I panicked when I got on the phone because I didn't even know it was a voicemail. And so I call, and he's like, hey, Dave Rudman, it's Marty Robinson, and Nate is performing Baby Bear, and here's the phone. And I'm like, hello? He's like, it's a message. Like, hello there. Hi, I'm performing Baby Bear, and I hope that's okay, kind of thing.
Ah, that's crazy. So you get the puppet. What's that first like when you slip on this iconic figure, this puppet?
Oh man, that was amazing actually. Like just putting on a real live Muppet for the first time was a great experience, and it's very interesting finding out how they're made, how they work, what have you. Had Baby Bear, like I said, and his mouth was actually made of foam, which surprised me. Like I
Hmm.
thought it'd be a little more rigid, like a gasket rubber material or something. And it was made of foam, and that, shocking. And then something else that I really loved was just making everyone so happy. And Marty said, find one kid, focus on them with the puppet, and then wave right at them, and that'll make them so happy. And that was really cool to do.
So how could you see the classic whole Muppet monitors thing? Did they have that going on in the float, or were you able to peek out of the window?
You were able to peek out once in a while. You don't want to have them see you, but you can peek out once in a while and kind of not ruin the illusion that there's a living being there.
And so yeah, I do you think maybe you'll come up and audition for them, having had that credit with them?
Maybe. I don't know. It depends where my performing goes. I'm very, very focused on the ventriloquism right now, but I
Yes.
wouldn't mind auditioning for them at some point.
So is ventriloquism the main focus, or is it? I notice. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you also, and correct me because I ask these questions half the time out of ignorance. You also build some puppets.
I do build. Yeah, I have built puppets, and I haven't built a puppet in a while, but I do sort of know how to build a puppet. I'm not as good as some people are, but I can build a working puppet, and I haven't done that in a little while, but yeah.
So was it surprising to find that the Muppets, as you say, Baby Bear's mouth was made of foam, that they're not necessarily made out of like the best, most rigid, most high quality, biggest thing, especially on the inside, and that they just sort of look really, really nice?
No, they're built from very high quality material.
Right.
Just the mouth was made of foam for better movement. It's all about movement.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm sure as you know, being a ventriloquist,
Yeah.
it's the movement making the character come to life. And they're built from some of the best materials out there.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. It's so cool to get to talk to somebody who has worked inside the the kind of childhood launching pad for anything and everything having to do with puppets. In fact, we had Ken Groves on last week, and he said, the kids, they come on for they see a ventriloquist, and they're honest, and they're brutally honest. Why? Because they see the
Oh
best
yeah,
puppeteers and the best puppets in the entire world. Every morning before they go to school to see that
oh
ventriloquist come
definitely,
and perform for them.
oh definitely. I was at a festival one time, just kind of busking, and this kid comes right up to me, looks at me. He's gonna be more than 6 or 7. He's just like, "I know you're doing that. I know what you're doing. We're not stupid." I'm like, "Oh, well then." You know?
They don't have that filter yet.
No, they don't. They honestly don't. It was, like I said, I'm a busker, and kids will. This kid put a penny in my hat, and I always say thank you. I'm like, hey, thanks, kid. He's like, I found it on the ground. I'm like, oh, okay, that's,
Oh,
that's
that's great. So that leads into
all right.
what's your favorite group of people to perform for? If you're busking on the street and you're performing, what's your favorite group? If you get a group of people around you, what's the best group to perform for?
It really depends. I perform really alternative crowd. They really love it, and I can't really explain my favorite group to perform for. Like I said, people come where I perform. There are concerts every night, so it might be a band coming by and they see the puppet and they'll either walk away or they'll talk to me for a second, or even seeing like kids who are just fascinated with puppets. I remember hearing kids say, "How's that talking?" Because they know it's a puppet, but they can't see my lips move. So it's like, "How is it talking? What's going on?" So that's always fun. And I hate to say, I don't know how if I can say, how clean this is, but drunk people come from shows are always great to perform for because they don't.
I performed in a
They're
comedy club in New York the whole school year. I understand that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's interesting. That can be interesting.
definitely,
So, how does it
definitely,
work
definitely.
busking with a puppet? I mean, normally you think of ventriloquism and you think of doing that aspect. You have a routine and you want people to stay there so that you can act this routine with the puppet character. How do you get an audience's attention and keep them interested in the dialogue that's going on between you and the character?
It really all depends. I mean, I've had people. I've been doing an act and people stop and say, hi there, hi puppet," and I'm like, "Oh," and the puppet looks, say, "Hello, how are you?" Basically, then there are the people that look at me, okay, do something, make me laugh. I'm like, oh, so I tell a few jokes or just any of that, and it's very scattered almost. And you have to remember some people don't like puppets, so they'll just walk by or they won't. Oh, and the worst thing I hear is that's creepy. I'm like, well, you have the option not to say that.
Yeah. No
I mean,
filter.
it, you really have the option not to say that. Of course, I'm sitting here with a puppet, but you don't have to say that's creepy. I mean, like, come on, man, that's rude. That we learned manners a long time ago.
Why do people think, especially in a situation where it is more interactive, why do people think it's okay to voice those sort of negative opinions? I've never been able to figure that out.
I can't figure it out either. I mean, I'm trying to perform a little bit, and just people don't have a filter, and they feel, I don't know, maybe because they feel I have a puppet that they can say anything or what have you, but people, don't always respect it, unfortunately.
Hmm. So,
And maybe it's a matter of respect. I don't know, but
mhm. Let's shift gears here for a moment and talk about building. What got you interested in building characters for yourself?
well, I decided at one point I wanted to work with the Muppets, and a friend of mine suggested, "Why don't you start building?" And so I bought the phone book by um, oh God, if I get the name wrong, I hate myself. Drew Allison and Donald DeVent, and started really studying that and really just building characters that I draw them up, and it's very satisfying. It's a fun experience. Usually, of course, I don't always wait. I can't always wait till the end result and just rush it at times. But that's basically what got me started. And then having actual professional puppet builders say, "Okay, you need to work on this," that's a whole other experience.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you think that one day you might want to start making characters to sell to other ventriloquists and puppeteers?
I kind of always have wanted to. I've put building on the back burner for now, but
Hmm.
I remember seeing something on a guy named Danny Farrington who makes guitars and just all kinds of instruments, and him saying one of the best feelings in the world is having someone play your guitar. Like he said, he built a guitar for Johnny Cash, and it looked like it was hacked and on the backhoe. And they're like, "Oh, doesn't it break your heart?" I'm like, no, Johnny Cash did that to my guitar. So to really have someone enjoy something you created, that's just an amazing thought for me.
Absolutely. Well, Nate, I have one last question for you. Coming up and seeing what it is you're doing. What do you want to see out of the ventriloquists today? And you're one of them coming up and wanting to do this. What do you want to see, or what are you trying to achieve? What's missing?
Well, I want us to kind of break the barrier. I feel, and I'm probably going to offend a lot of people by saying this, I feel we've gotten so clean and almost corny.
Hmm.
I want to see people break that barrier. I want people to kind of maybe be a little more edgy. Like, people say Jeff Dunham's edgy. Jeff Dunham is edgy, but what if we went a little further even? And that's
Hmm.
just me personally. I have no problem with clean ventriloquism, but I feel, it's just everyone does the clean act, the family act. I want to see someone do something completely different
Hmm.
and just blow me away and something more for the mainstream or even underground crowd.
Yeah. Yeah. That and speaking of that, Otto and the Otto and George.
Yeah,
Otto just
Otto
passed
Peterson.
away. Yeah.
I was very sad about that actually. He was one of my favorite acts, and and people have been coming up to me lately and asking me about him. I was surprised I knew who he was, but I was very sad to hear his passing. He was one of my influences, and like I said, I probably get a lot of flack, but he was one of my favorites, and he was a great, comedian.
Absolutely, and I respect. I work clean personally, but I respect any kind of act that is thoughtful, be it clean, dirty, or whatever. And Otto
But,
was a great act.
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, just um, one of my favorite people right now is April Brucker, and you interviewed her,
Yes, I
and
love
she gets
her.
a lot of flack for being dirty, and I don't think she should. She's still doing ventriloquism. She's still promoting the art, and I just feel we should really shun the quote unquote blue performers. We should embrace them in a way.
Yes, embrace all types of performers. Well, Nate Puppets, thank you very much. I guess we'll dedicate this episode to the late great Otto Peterson. Thank you very much for
Indeed.
being with us
Rest in
today.
peace, Otto Peterson. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you again to Nate Puppets. Such fun talking with you. Great conversation. And now on to some really cool information from our friend Jay Johnson. It's awesome that I can tell you what you have probably been reading on the blogs and stuff, that Jay and Pop Twist Entertainment will release Jay Johnson, the two and only, on August 1st. And according to the press release from Pop Twist, the filmed version of Johnson's Tony Award winning Broadway show will be released to 54 million homes worldwide via in demand video on demand services ahead of its DVD release this December 16th. This package will include download to own availability. Brian W. Simon, who directed I'm No Dummy, helmed the filming of this incredible piece of theater at Thalian Hall in Wilmington, North Carolina. Let me tell you, it is incredibly well done and beautifully shot to capture the genius of this one-man show, which is really the genius of Jay Johnson, if you think about it, because he's just really good at what he does, and it was captured impeccably. So please be on the lookout for that, and congratulations to Jay. I know it has been a long time coming, and I am so thrilled to see this finally released. And next week, we will have a family, 3 generations of ventriloquists in one room to talk for two. Or is it 6? And then I'll be there. So 8, I don't know how that works. But in the meantime, you can find all you need to know about Ventriloquism Weekly by visiting our mothership, ventriloquismweekly.com. That's our website, ventriloquismweekly.com. Reach out by emailing ventriloquismweekly@gmail.com and find us on Facebook by searching Ventriloquism Weekly podcast for ventriloquist. Tweet us at Talk for Two. So many teeth. And that's it for us this week. Signing off for Ventriloquism Weekly, I'm Matt Bailey, reminding all you vents out there to keep talking for two.